Alright guys, welcome back to the channel once again. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Nest.js. So Nest.js is a different framework inside the Node.js. It's like the Express, but the code structure and everything is quite different from that, because at the Node.js Express framework we have to just use the Express and router and write to the controller and services file separately. But here it will automatically provide you all the folder structure, and you just have to create the different modules inside that, according to your features, and then you can just work into that. So there's a CLI also provided, so you can just by default use those CLI and create the folders by yourself, and then you can just work into those. So let's get started. Let's look into this documentation, and then we can just jump into the code. Okay, see, so if you see over here, so this is the kind of introduction and installation process has been defined over here. You can read this later. So let me tell you first thing, Nest.js is totally written into the Typescript. You should have the basic idea of the Typescript, how does that work, so you can use that over there. And there's some CLI commands written over here. So first you have to install the Nest.js CLI. So let's suppose later on if you have to use the Nest.js CLI to create the modules or create the controller or services or anything, any kind of thing, so you can just use the Nest.js CLI and create those. Okay, so after that there's already a sample project as well, so you can just install this one and then npm install and npm run start, so it will start for you. And after that there are some dependency that you have to install, Nest.js core and common, so you get few alternatives inside of that, some common helper functions that you can import from there and use it inside the Nest.js. Okay, so those are the things. So we're going to be looking at each and everything, so one by one. And if you see over here, overview, it has defined. So if you go through with this one, so you will see the controllers, providers, and providers are not much, mostly these are the services. If you are creating some other providers like helper service, so that also comes inside the providers. And modules, where you include your controllers, entities, your database entities, and your services, any other things provided that you want to include, so you can just include it over here, okay, inside the modules. And a module binds your controller, service, and providers together and then serve into your application, okay, when you start the application. Middlewares also, so there are some different middlewares. Before using the route handling, you can just run the middleware inside your main file, where you define your server, when you start your server. So whenever you will make any API call, so first it will go to the middleware and then it will go to your route handler. So that's kind of thing also over here. So you see this kind of middleware you can create, and then you have to just inject that middleware into the module over here, so that module come into the main.js or app.module. So anywhere you can use it, but mostly it comes into the main.js. When exception filters, if there's any error coming, so you just use this exception filter for globally and include this everywhere. There is a whole documentation written how you can use this and how you can pass a different kind of error messages over there, so that you need to look. So we're gonna be looking into this one. And validation pipe, if you want to validate some query or something, inputs are coming, so you can just use the validation pipes for those, global validation pipes or route based validation pipes. So all the things are different, so you can use that. And mostly people use DTOs as well inside of this, whenever any input comes with the post API or the update API or delete API, so you can just use the DTOs for that and define those. Only these values should be go inside the services or controller, so that you can do. Before your functions, controller functions, you use the guard. If you want to protect or secure your controller before execution of the controller, you just put the guard over there, in the form of decorator, and then you can just validate it, the request is genuine or not, it contains the token or something, the authentication or something is going on, so you can just validate over there. So mostly it has defined over here auth guard, but you can create your custom guards as well. Let's suppose you want to check user is not an admin, or he has the proper role, or the request is proper, details are coming inside the request or header, it's correct or not correct. So that's kind of validation you can do over here inside the guard. So how you can include the guard, so you see over here, use guard, role guard. So role guard is a custom guard that's written that you have to write, so the code is given over here. So that same kind of thing, you can create your own guard, something custom guard or something, whatever you want to name it, so you can name it and then you can use it this way. Okay, and let me tell you about this one. This is the totally object oriented based framework. So whenever you create any controller or class or any service, so you have to controller or service or any provider, so you have created the class, and then you have to if you want to extend it or implement it, clone it from some other class, so you can do that. So most of all the functions gonna be written inside the class, so it's a class based framework. Okay, so that's kind of thing inside of it. And custom decorators, how you can create the custom decorators inside of it, these are the things. And into the fundamentals if you go, so you will read some more things over here, like execution context, lazy loading modules, custom providers. So these are the things, and techniques also have been defined, what you can use, configuration, database and Mongo database and MongoDB, and validation, caching, serialization, versioning, task scheduling. So these are the things, like task scheduling is a kind of cron thing, and queues, logging, everything is written over here. So you can use this, so many techniques are given. Okay, event emitter, cookies, logging, everything you can use. Okay, security like authentication, authorization, encryption, hashing, helmet codes, cross protection, CSRF protection, and rate limiting. So these things also you can use. It's also required. So rate limiting is required, also course is required, CSRF protection required, like cross-site request forgery protection. Course is also enabled, like which domain is allowed to visit, like allowed to hit the request and get successful inside your application, Nest.js application. So you can use the course. And these are the other things, hashing and encryption, authorization, authentication. Okay, GraphQL queries, these things also, these are over here if you want to use it. WebSockets also you can use it, like if you want to. Microservices are over here. Okay, standalone. So there are so many things that you mostly if you are like starting, your beginner or something kind of thing, so you just need to learn till over here, till security mostly, and you should know you should have the better understanding of this one, like security, techniques and fundamentals, the overview. If you are like you would be able to learn all of these things, like you can intermediate master inside this Nest.js. Okay, so you can make the application easily, and you can just serve that application on the production. Okay, so make sure you should have better understanding into these 4 topics ahead, like inside the Nest.js. Okay, and rest of the others I like advanced topics, so you can just learn it later if you want to implement it. So then you can just look into this and implement it. So it's gonna be easy for you once you understand the like basic scenario of Nest.js. Okay, so let's go into the code. Let's go into the first page over here, first step, and these are the commands. So first you have to use this command, nest new, gonna be creating one project, and Nest.js, and first installing the CLI. So you can just use npmi-g CLI and then create new project. Okay, so I have already created one project, and it's already over here. So you can see this folder structure. Okay, and this is how it is. So if I open the source folder, so you can see there is one file main.ts. okay, so this file where your whole application runs. So you can see this application is running. Create the server, like if you have seen the Express.js, so we were creating like http.create, and then after that http.listen, or in the Express like app.listen, something we were doing. So same kind of thing over here. So there we were using the Express. Now here we are using the Nest Factory app module. Okay, and you can use this app, so you can use other things as well to define other stuffs, like we were doing inside the Express.js, like app.use validations, and use body parsers, like something, so that you can also use it over here. And this is your another module which gonna be automatically included inside this. So you see the app module is included. Okay, and inside the app module you can include different other modules, like let's suppose you create another module over here, resources. Let's suppose create one folder, user module. First create the folder modules. Okay, inside the modules just create another folder, users. Okay, and inside the users you can create all the files, like controller, modules and services. So let me just show you how to create it by over here. So there was one thing, controllers. So if we go inside the controllers, so you see the CRUD generator, so we have to use this one, so nest.g resource. So if we use this one, nest.g resource, and the name of the resource, which will automatically create the resource for us. Okay, let's just copy it. Okay, go over here and then just type nest.g resource, and I will create like users. I have already created, so auth I will create nest.g modules auth /auth. Okay, REST API, yes. Okay, it has been created. Now if I go inside my folder and open the module, so you see the auth folder is there, and all the other helper files are there, like DTOs are there. So data transfer, which called data transfer object. Inside this you can just define the data type, and whenever you are calling any API in the controller, so you have to define it like this way. So this is your DTO. So what inputs gonna be passed inside this one body, so that is defined into your data transfer object. Okay, if any, and you can also define the validation over here. Let's suppose suppose I'm getting an email like this way, email equals to string, okay, and if I define it like this and go up and provide is a string, so we need to install the validations. So where we gonna get this? So let's look out for the validations, maybe over here. So validations, okay, so validations, so class transformer, class validation. So we have to install this one first, then it's gonna be working. Hit enter. So it has been installed. Now go back to here, go back to DTO, okay, so add that it is a string, as a string, and after that, so you see your email gonna be like checked over here is kind of a string type, and you can pass the message as well. So if it doesn't match this criteria, like a string is not coming or something is not defined, so it will automatically throw the message into this request, okay. It won't come to over here, it will first validate, and then you can create the custom validation types as well. Like you can create the validator somewhere and you can just include that validator over here and just return the message whatever you want to return. So what it will do, first it will take the details from there and go into the validator, custom validator, and then validate it, and if there is something wrong with it, so it will automatically throw the error message to from there. It won't go inside this controller, okay, inside this function. So that's how it works. So let me just walk you through how you have to start the coding part when you just clone this repo or install this CLI, okay. Let me just create the users one as well from here. So let me remove this users, go over here and SGS resource users REST API, yes, okay. So our users folder is also created over here, so you can see all the things are right now. Okay, let's close this modules one. So by default, when you create one fresh repo, so you will just get these files over here and this app main, okay, and you can see over here my users module and auth module is already imported and included inside this app module, okay. I don't have to do anything. So whatever I have to do, just need to write the code over here and it's automatically gonna be included over here, okay. So whenever my server will start, it will automatically run these files as well, so you can hit the API directly. So you just have to look for the modules and then you can create some other files like utils, helpers, common files to storing the constant, and also those are the different things you can do. But mostly you just have to start writing the codes in controller and you can just create the like your API. So let's suppose post API for create user. So I'm just gonna create user slash create or user slash me or get. You can just say user slash me and user slash your ID you can pass over here, like param ID, update param ID, and delete param ID. So like user slash hashed ID, whatever you want. Okay, so that's how you can pass it, and after that you see the service is included, and this is called dependency injection. Okay, so if you see over here, so let me just comment it out. This is called, so you can just comment it out like this way, and you just user service. Okay, and this is called dependency injection. So we're going to be discussing more about this one because there are several this is like normal dependency injection, but there is a one is called circular dependency. Okay, when it comes, it's gonna blow your mind like how you can solve that problem, because when you have so many modules inside and you are continuous using one function from one service to another service, like one module to another module, and then you have to solve the circular dependency problem that time, because when you call, like let's suppose you are in user controller and you call the user service, after that user service you are calling the auth service, and then auth service again calling to the user service. So that time your circular dependency is getting created. So what you have to do, if you are using the auth service, so your auth service should be installed, like included inside your user over here. So you have to do it like this way, imports, okay, and inside the imports you have to just do the auth module. So your auth module should be included over here and your user module should be included into the auth modules. Then your circular dependency problem gonna be solved. Otherwise it will throw you the error over here, like when you start the server. I'm not gonna making this video longer, so maybe we can start making the like API calls in the next video, and then we can be discussing more about this one. So that's it from this video, and this is the folder structure, and you can see the package.json as well. So this is a bunch of dependency are installed, like predefined dependency which is used by the Nest.js, and then these are the scripts are coming by default from the Nest.js. Okay, but we have to write some more script over here, like for the database migrations and all, so we're gonna do it later. Okay, so thank you so much guys, thank you for watching, and I'll meet you in the next video.